Hello, fellow patriots and lovers of freedom. Welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. This channel will be dedicated to refuting the many arguments put forth by our gun control opponents, but with a twist. I'm sure you're aware, statistics can be manipulated to fit whatever narrative one wishes to portray. Instead of relying solely on so-called statistics, I will be showing you how to refute the gun control narrative with logic and principle. I believe this is the only way this debate can be won for gun rights. Of course, I will need to use statistics and studies occasionally to make my arguments, but that is not going to be the core strategy here. To lay the foundation, it seems only fitting that we begin with the wording of the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, I'm sure you've heard someone ask, what militia do you belong to? Well, an understanding of the English language seems to be in order here, doesn't it? You will notice the phrase contains commas. What are the purpose of commas? To separate ideas within a sentence. The first idea is a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The second idea is the right of the people to keep and bear arms. The notion that belonging to a militia as a prerequisite to the right of the people to keep and bear arms is quite simply wrong. Nowhere in the sentence is that even implied. If it meant what gun control advocates wish it meant, it would read something like this. To ensure the security of a free state, the right of the people in a well-regulated militia to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Then why, you ask, did they even include the militia clause? Simple. Without the right of the people to keep and bear arms, the well-regulated militia, should it become necessary to call upon, would be impossible. It simply means that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. At any given time, those people shall be ready to be called upon to form a militia to protect and defend the state. The Supreme Court has upheld this principle on several occasions, most recently the Bruin decision. In the Heller decision, they held that the Second Amendment protects an individual right to possess a firearm unconnected with service in a militia and to use that arm for traditionally lawful purposes, such as self-defense within the home. The amendment's prefatory clause announces a purpose, but does not limit or expand the scope of the second part, the operative clause. The operative clause's text and history demonstrate that it connotates an individual right to keep and bear arms. The prefatory clause comports with the court's interpretation of the operative clause. The militia comprised all males physically capable of acting in concert for the common defense. The Anti-Federalists feared that the federal government would disarm the people in order to disable this citizens' militia, enabling a politicized standing army or a select militia to rule. The response was to deny Congress power to abridge the ancient right of individuals to keep and bear arms, so that the ideal of a citizens' militia would be preserved. To further emphasize the point, I've decided to paraphrase the Second Amendment. A well-regulated school being necessary to the education of the populace, the right of the people to keep and read books shall not be infringed. To form a proper analogy, I have replaced direct words with another word in the phrase. For instance, militia is replaced directly by school. Security of a free state has been replaced with education of the populace. And bear arms has been replaced with read books. Now, what would that phrase mean? Would it mean that only people in school would have the right to keep and read books? Of course not. It simply means that without the right of the people to keep and read books, the well-regulated school would not be possible. Now I would like to direct us to another phrase that is not well known but very powerful. That phrase is this one. The conventions of a number of the states, having at the time of their adopting the Constitution expressed a desire, in order to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its powers, that further declaratory and restrictive clauses should be added, and, as extending the ground of public confidence in the government, will best ensure the benefit ends of its institution. Now you may wonder, where does that phrase appear? I'm so glad you asked. That phrase is the preamble to the Bill of Rights. Let's analyze this statement. In order to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its powers. If the purpose of the Bill of Rights is to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its powers, how then can you make the argument that the government can exercise its power to place regulations and limits on the rights enumerated within the Bill of Rights? That would be a complete contradiction. No, clearly the purpose of the Bill of Rights is a restraint on the government. In our next video, we will be discussing the logical fallacy of gun control. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe. Once again, welcome to my channel and thank you for watching. Until next time.